There's a point where planning stops helping and starts holding us back. And learning to recognize that moment can change everything. I'm gonna go over 6 signs you're stuck in the planning phase and how to finally get out of it. Planning isn't bad, especially for creatives. Planning brings structure, safety, and clarity to our work. But there's a quiet moment where planning shifts from supporting creativity to protecting us from the discomfort of starting. The problem isn't planning, it's staying there too long. Okay, so how can you actually tell when planning turns into avoidance? Here are 6 signs you may be stuck in the planning phase. Number 1. You keep preparing, but never start. You're making more lists, watching more tutorials, reading more articles, but you're not taking any actionable steps. Readiness slowly becomes a moving target. You think, if I just plan a little more, I'll be ready. But ready never comes. Number 2, you feel busy, but oddly stuck. You're spending a lot of time on different things, but still have nothing to show for it. This can often show up as mental exhaustion, decision fatigue, or low motivation. Number 3, you restart the planning phase over and over. You scrap plans, start fresh, rebrand. Because restarting feels safer than continuing. This perfectly leads into number 4. You're afraid of doing it wrong. Now, my fellow perfectionists will really resonate with this one. I know I do. This is where planning becomes a shield against making mistakes, being fearful of being seen as a beginner, or creating something imperfect. If the task you're striving to get to feels heavier and heavier every time you think about it, you're probably afraid of doing it wrong. Number 5, you say, "I'm not ready yet," repeatedly. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months, and the language still doesn't change. You say, "soon," "eventually," or "when I have more time." Are you not ready yet? Or are you afraid? Okay, last one, number 6. You're waiting to feel confident first. You tell yourself, "what if I'm not good enough?" Or "I'll start when I feel less nervous." Or maybe, "if I don't start, I can't fail." You could also say, "once I feel more confident, then I'll start." But building confidence usually comes after starting, not before. Confidence doesn't come from thinking about doing the thing. It comes from surviving the first few messy attempts and continue to keep going. Planning isn't the problem, but it becomes a problem when it prevents us from starting. Okay, so when I was creating this channel, I actually found myself stuck in the planning phase for far too long. I realized I could find endless amounts of busy tasks to do, but planning wasn't moving the needle enough to be making the progress I needed to actually start. I was scared of the process of starting, of putting myself out there, of being honestly vulnerable. I felt this need to be perfect from the get-go, and that's honestly just not realistic. Planning often feels safe because it's usually not a phase in the process that we're sharing with others just yet. Doing the thing can be so vulnerable because it creates something visible, something others can start to see and therefore potentially critique. Sometimes the fear isn't failure, it's being seen before we're ready. And honestly, it's something I'm personally dealing with literally in this moment, recording this video and editing this video and posting it on to the internet, where it will be very visible and it definitely will not be anywhere near perfect. Okay, so we know we're in the planning phase. Now, here are the 6 ways we can take those signs and move them gently into action. Okay, so how to start doing. For number 1, you keep preparing but never start. What's happening is you're consuming information instead of creating momentum. So how do you move out of planning? Set a no more input rule. No tutorials, no research for 24 to 48 hours. You can ask yourself, what's the smallest version of starting that I can do? What's the smallest step I can take towards that? You can do one imperfect action without learning anything first. Think, if you've learned enough to explain it to somebody else, you've probably learned enough to start. Number 2, you feel busy but stuck. What's happening is you're expending your energy without producing anything tangible. How do you move out of planning? End each work session with creating something visible. Draw a sketch, write a paragraph, a draft, create a prototype. You can limit planning time with a timer. Ask yourself, what will exist when I'm done creating this thing? Remember, movement creates clarity, not the other way around. Number 3, you restart the planning phase over and over again. What's happening is restarting often feels safer than continuing with an idea that's not perfect yet. So how do you move up? Committing to finishing one version of whatever you're doing without restarting, even if it's not perfect. Create a rule for yourself. No restarting, only revisiting. Something that's helped me is treating the first attempt as a test, not the final product. Oftentimes you don't need a better plan, you just need a finished one. Number 4, you're afraid of doing it wrong. So what's really happening? Planning has become protection. Lower the stakes. Decide for yourself that this version is practice, not performance. You can define what good enough looks like before you start. You can ask yourself, what's the cost of not doing this at all? And how will that make me feel? Your task can often feel heavier because your expectations are set so high. Number 5, you say, I'm not ready yet, on repeat. So what's happening? Readiness has become a moving target. Pick a date, not a feeling. Again, decide what ready enough feels like and stop there. You don't need to restart every single time. You can start before you feel prepared. I know, it's hard, but do it and let the process teach you. Remember, readiness isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Number 6, you're waiting to feel confident first. So what's happening? You're treating confidence as a requirement instead of a result. You can decide to act without confidence intentionally. Replace I need to feel with I can feel unsure and start anyway. It can help to track the actions taken and how each action made you feel. Confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you can build by continuously showing up. So that was it. Those were 6 signs and some ways to gently move into action with them. If you've been stuck in the planning phase, take this as your sign to take one small step towards achieving your goal. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear what is one of the signs that you may be struggling with down in the comments below. I went ahead and already commented mine. Remember to always create with intention and grow with curiosity, and I'll see you in the next one.